All right, so I'm going to talk about submitting the final project. Let's get our. All right, let's pretend we're paying attention. Uh, so, uh, if we look at Blackboard for a minute, we can see that all of the assignments that we've been doing for the past few weeks, with a couple exceptions, have been leading up to the final project. So starting with our character design, walk cycle, revised walk cycle, this was a separate one, then our storyboard, our walk cycle with background and camera, and walk cycle with special effects, titles and credits, sound. So there's 8 parts to the final project. And then there's the final. And so for each one of those assignments, when you submit them, you should have gotten a grade from me. And I think I'm mostly caught up, but it sounds like I need to do a little bit of grading today, which I'll catch up on. And so you should see already how many points you got for each one of those steps. And if you didn't get the full number of points, you can resubmit them so you can get the full credit for them, as long as you submit them obviously before the last day, which is the 15th, which is a week from today. For the final project, if we look at this rubric again, so most of these things are the steps that we've been working on. There's only a couple things at the end that are really what you'll be graded on for the last bit, assuming you've done everything else. The file format, this is just submitting everything, and then general idea / execution. So this is just kind of, does the project have a clear setup? Does everything fit together? All of that kind of stuff. Part of our final project is doing a presentation. So if we look at our week 15, which is our last week, we're going to do a presentation of the projects. I'll do this during our second part of class. So in the morning, I might talk a little bit about like setting up some portfolio stuff, which if you're interested in doing, I'll kind of talk about using this add to portfolio button and setting up your OpenLab portfolio so you can add your stuff onto there. But in the second part of class, we'll start with the final presentation. So we'll have a little bit of time before that to kind of clean things up and get everything together if you need to. Then at 11 next week, we'll do our final presentations. And so you can do whatever you want for this. You probably can use the OpenLab posts that we've been creating throughout the semester. If you want to do like a PowerPoint or something like that, you're welcome to do that. And then obviously it will end with the final version of your walk cycle with the titles and credits. So we'll do that for everybody at 11 next week, so our second part of class. And that, probably take like, I don't know, half an hour or so, maybe a little more. We'll have some more time after that, just to wrap up any loose ends. So again, if you want to make a presentation, you can send it to me and I can put it up here. But otherwise, what I'll probably do is just go to your author page. So if I was presenting my work, I would go to my author page and I would start with my character design and just kind of go through the steps of the process. So, my idea was to make a cat that's also an astronaut named Ren, and the cat gets lost in space. So I have some reference imagery, some sketches, and then I'll go back to my page and go to my next step. So my next step was this rough walk cycle. And so we can see I sort of figured out the basic components of the character and got the walk cycle. After that, I did a revised walk cycle here, where I tried some different coloring options and different blending effects to get something that I liked and something that was repeatable. And after that, we'll skip this. This is just a practice animation. So then we'll go to our storyboard. So in my storyboard, I kind of designed the first scene, and I set up a couple moments, which I haven't actually animated, but this is just for a demo. So we'll look at the storyboard, and then we've got the first walk cycle with the background, and we can look at those. We have the title and credits, and we have the sound edit, and then for the final project we'll have the final edit. So you'll also post your final edit, and that, you know, that'll be your final project. The other thing that you have to do when you submit is you have to have all the files ready. So this is kind of review of what we just did, but when you submit your files, you need to make sure that all of the files that I need to see that were part of your project are in your folder. So my folder is a little bit disorganized because I've just been throwing stuff in here. Let's add a new folder, and I'll just call this final. And I'll just put everything in here that I need to be in here. Oops, I misspelled final. And then actually, if I want to make this even more organized, let's add a folder for my edits. So these are just the exports that I've done. So let's throw all these MP4 files into this edits folder. Okay, all my little MP4 files are gonna go in here. I think that's all of them. And so then for my final project, what I need is my sound folder. I need my background. I need my walk cycle SWIFTs. I need my walk cycle, or I guess I'll go with my walk cycle 2. I need my After Effects file. This GIF I'll throw into edits. Same with this one. I don't know what this is. I don't think I need that. Let's delete this. Okay, so I'm gonna make this nice and organized. So everything that I exported to post on the blog, I'm just gonna put in this edits folder. And so now I just have the storyboard. I have a couple just studies that I did. I could make another studies folder maybe. But the main thing is I have my final project, and that needs the Flash file or Animate file, the After Effects file, the background.psd, the SWIFTs with the exported SWIFTs in there. That doesn't have to be in a folder, but whatever you exported from Animate to put into After Effects needs to be in there, and then any sound files. So when I download this to grade it, even if the connections don't all work perfectly, I'll at least be able to see where the footage is, and I can replace the footage if I need to. So if I open this up, hopefully all those connections will be there. Yeah, it looks like it's fine. So yeah. So once I have that organized, I'm just gonna right click on here, send to compressed. And that's going to be the easiest way to make sure that everything is in the folder and I can upload it all together. And so that's what I'll submit on Blackboard. So when I'm ready to create my submission, I'll just post a link to the OpenLab post for the final edit, and then I'll go to upload files, and I'll go to my project folder, and I'll upload this zip file. So that way I can unzip it, I'll see all the files there, and that'll be easy to work with. So that's pretty much it for the final project. If you've been following along with each one of the steps, you should be pretty close to done. You can just add some final touches, refine stuff if you want to, and then you should end up with one sort of final edit video that you can post on OpenLab. And so we'll do that. So next week, again, we'll have a normal class period. As I mentioned, in the morning, we'll have some time for you guys to kind of wrap things up, get things ready. Then at 11, we'll do some presentations. And then if you still need time after that to post things and make sure everything looks good, we'll have some time after that as well. But we need to have all of these files posted and everything like that, because next Friday is going to be our last day in here. And so once you post that, I'm going to have to grade based on that, and you're not going to want to have missed anything. So we want to make sure to have all that stuff set up. Okay. So I'm going to